You're joining us for 21 Days of Prayer here on Pursuing God with Gene Apple. Here's Gene.
Hey, thanks for joining me while I record here by the lake for this Saturday edition of 21 Days of Prayer. And I say that because traditionally Saturday is the Sabbath day according to the Old Testament. The Sabbath was a day of rest, and observing it on the seventh day of each week was the fourth commandment out of the famous 10 commandments given by Moses to the nation of Israel. Exodus chapter 20 records it this way: remember to observe the Sabbath day by keeping it holy. You have 6 days each week for your ordinary work, but the seventh day is a Sabbath day of rest dedicated to the Lord your God. But why have a day of rest once a week? It seems that God made humans with a battery that lasts 6 days before they need to be recharged. The word Sabbath means to cease. It means simply to cease from working, not because you have completed all the tasks that needed to be done, but because ceasing to do them once a week not only allows you to recharge, it reminds you that you're not as important as you think you are. If you stop working, the world doesn't spin off its axis. God is still ultimately in control. And what a release that gives us. Now, that being said, hopefully in your rhythm, you can establish a day of rest for yourself each week, even if it's not on a Saturday, so that you can rest and you can pray. Praying on the Sabbath day can be a meaningful way to connect with God and reflect on your spiritual life. Historically, Jewish people would pray a special prayer on the Sabbath, and this is actually a prayer Jesus himself prayed every Saturday of his life. And the prayer included these words: "Blessed are you, Lord our God, King of the universe, who sanctified us with his commandments and favored us and gave us his holy Sabbath as a heritage in love and favor." And with that in mind, here are some suggestions on how to approach a prayer on your Sabbath day, which for me, that's Mondays is my Sabbath. First, find a time of some solitude. You know, solitude was a regular practice of Jesus when he prayed, as well as for his followers over the centuries. And if you're not sure how to create solitude for yourself, just know this, that inaccessibility is kind of the new solitude. Solitude in the 21st century can be accomplished just by turning off your smartphone for a designated time of your Sabbath. And take advantage of that. It's not only mimics Jesus, but it'll enhance your prayer life. And then 2, reflect on the week. Solitude on your Sabbath gives you the opportunity to acknowledge both the challenges and joys from the past 6 days, bringing them before God as you reflect on their purpose in your life. Slowing down enough to reflect on each day from a God's eye view can reframe your life in a heavenly perspective. 3rd, focus on rest and renewal. Do something that you know fills your tank. Gratitude and praise and prayer flow much more freely when your cup's full, right, than when it's drained. For some of you, this might mean, taking a nap. For others, it's reading a book, watching a favorite movie with friends and family. For others, it's exercise or a hobby. Whatever it is, do that. Don't use your Sabbath to catch up on work, to catch up on chores. It's for catching up with yourself and with God. 4th suggestion, try a nature walk. Your Sabbath is a great time to take your prayer life outdoors. And if you live near a nice view or a park or a nature center or a lake or a hiking trail, take a walk or a hike. Appreciate God's creation. Tell him what you're seeing, what it tells you about him, and how it puts you in awe of him. And then lastly, spend some time praying for the coming week. Ask for guidance and strength for the days ahead, especially if you have something big coming up. You can actually release it to him in advance so you can navigate it with more confidence and fullness. Remember, the Sabbath is meant to be a day of rest and spiritual renewal, so approach prayer in a way that feels restorative and meaningful to you. How about we start right now asking God to show us one way to make today a refreshing Sabbath for your soul. Let me give you a moment to do that. You just ask him over the next 10 seconds. You just pray silently. I hope you'll join us at an Eastside campus this weekend. It's a great weekend to jump into First Step if you haven't done that. And I'll see you tomorrow as we continue in 21 Days of Prayer.
You're joining us for 21 Days of Prayer here on Pursuing God with Gene Apple.